This piece is entitled My Voice. My voice is just as urgent in this world as yours, just as capable of its utterance, as worthy of fluctuations of praise, of recitation. My voice is just as loud and just as necessary as, come on, Cynthia, say it just the way you wrote it, unafraid. Voices in my head. It is with voice that you hear me. It is with voice that I am here because the truth just sounds different. My voice, it is woman and frustration and the curl of my lips. My voice is 1,000 songs echoing from under my ancestors' feet. They stomp, they raise, it raises. Influence the back row, the front row will love you. Think about the front row, the back row will forget you. You're just as good as everyone else. You woman of backbone made of foil, hair of rope, of body and of fragments, of the mistakenings of your fragments for being the only opening to you. You crack sometimes and spill yourself and bleed, but only light escapes. You love the hate out of people. You be capable. You be qualified. You are worthy. You have power. You woman of many talents. You withstand. You recite over and over until you believe the things you say, like the fact that you are beautiful. You convince yourself. You be convincing, girl. There are many other openings to you. Don't they see you, woman of hiding, of allowance, of the allowing of people to call themselves inside of you and leave behind all of their still energies, and still you are hidden treasure, the keeper of glitter, you woman of 2 Timothy, you woman of hiding. You remember heartbreak. That winter, you wore all black like you were in mourning. You didn't know you had to ask for someone to rescue you. You thought they could see your arms flailing, but you see God is masterful at hiding things. You thought you'd be rotten, but he be hiding all of his treasures inside of you. What will you be, Cynthia? Who will you be? Pick a side. Stop rocking back and forth. Pick a side. Pick a side. Love yourself enough to fill the hole he made when he tried to break you, when he tried to make a Delilah out of you, and the emptiness of you came pouring out hollow, and you thought you'd be dissolving, but you be absorbing. You expand and stretch and change, especially when everything else stays the same. Free yourself. Find yourself, Cynthia. Find your voice. Speak. Articulate like there are 1,000 deaths awaiting you. And death doesn't come like a thief in the night. It comes in the things we say and the things we write. It's in the things we hear and the things we recite. It's a lulling whisper, can't you hear it? Just above the wailing and the gnashing of teeth, can't you hear it? It's uncanny and exposed and delightful all at the same time. It sounds like a fistful of violins giving birth to music. Can't you hear it? Search the history books and overturn the grain on the pages, because nothing that was ever truly beautiful ask for attention. You, woman of 2 Timothy, find your voice. Find your voice. Thank you guys so much. I just want to open off today's event today with a quote of the day. And it's a quote that I really do believe has been the crux of my journey. The quote is, and you might find it in the chat as well. The quote is, when I realized my life was utterly mine, not my parents' expectations or society's or anyone else's, was when I experienced true freedom. And that was a quote by Ngozi Emezi. She is a photojournalist from Nigeria. You guys, I really do feel like that quote in particular has been just the backbone for my journey. I say that because I found my voice as a poet and as a young woman of color through programs like Poetry Out Loud. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of Poetry Out Loud. You can head over to the chat box and let me know. But just to make sure we're all on the same page, Poetry Out Loud is an organization that allows the youth from all over the country really to compete just in performing different poems. And I, as cliche as it sounds, had an amazing English teacher in high school who saw something in me that I didn't see in myself and who put me into poetry out loud. Needless to say, I lost the competition, not once, but twice, but that's all right. You know, we're not going to focus on the losses. We only focus on the wins. And the reason why that is because really the takeaway from my experience in the Poetry Out Loud competitions was the fact that I had a voice and that I can empower myself by using that voice. And so I graduated high school, went to college. I'm originally from Ohio, so I graduated high school in Ohio, but I went to college in upstate New York at Binghamton University, and I majored in political science and Africana studies. I did that because I thought I wanted to become a lawyer. I don't know if there's any other Africans in the house, but I am originally from Ghana, West Africa. Shout out to Ghana. You know, there's this idea that, you know, African and immigrant parents really want their children to succeed, but they only believe that their children can succeed in fields like medicine, in fields like pharmacy, engineering, and law. And so for me, law was the compromise with my mom. Like I was arguing with my mom on a daily basis about what I wanted to do with my life. And I had no say, but I found that law was the compromise and sort of the bridge between what she wanted me to be and who I wanted to be, as far as just using my voice and empowering myself. And so I majored in political science and Africana studies. I bombed the LSAT twice. You guys, I am losing the Poetry Out Loud competition twice. I'm bombing the LSAT twice. And I'm like, well, maybe law is not it, right? Like maybe going to law school and taking all these political science classes is not really something that I'm supposed to be doing. And so I, you know, sort of had a conversation with my mom and my family and decided that, you know, law school wouldn't be where I found myself. But there was a really life-defining moment after I graduated undergrad. I took a year off and I performed a poem, a wedding poem at my brother's wedding. My brother was getting married that summer. So I performed a wedding poem for him. And I just found that everybody in my family, but my mom included, which meant the world to me, gave me a standing ovation after I had performed at my brother's wedding. And so I was just like, what could I do with poetry? What could I actually do if I followed my voice and if I followed this path of my life? And so I just found myself getting involved in the local arts community in Columbus, Ohio, once again, where I'm at the moment and where I'm from, and just met the most amazing poets, visual artists, creators, found really a community in my local arts community, and decided to go to the New School to get my MFA in poetry. I was supposed to be in law school at that moment, but just found it really ironic that I was getting a master's in fine arts and poetry. So I just recently graduated from the New School, getting that degree last spring, and it was just amazing. New York City is amazing, obviously, as you guys know. I performed for a few different organizations, did a bunch of things when I was in that program, and now find myself here, again, because of poetry. Poetry really is a catalyst for me. It is the thing that opens so many different doors in my life, including finding myself in this space with you all. So I am grateful to it, and I'm grateful for you all for just listening to me ramble on and on here. But I'm currently teaching and working on a manuscript right now. And that's what I've been doing, just teaching online, more specifically positive affirmations, positive thinking, things of that sort. So I just keep myself busy by doing that. So the idea behind Prompt One, you guys, is I want us to utilize one of the tools that we just discussed. And I want us to all write a group poem. Now, there are some rules, you guys. There are some rules to this thing. So each of us are writing one-line sentences, and we're going to go around the virtual room to create one whole moving, living, breathing, vibrating piece. And I think that it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be awesome. So the rules are as follows. The first rule is that each line must begin with the word we, right? We're utilizing that repetition tool that I just talked about. So everybody's first line, everybody's line is going to begin with the word we. The second rule that I want us to focus on is that your sentence must include a color, a shape, a sound, or a type of weather. Okay, so you're beginning your line with the word we, then you're including a color, a shape, a sound, or a type of weather. That third rule that I want you to focus on when you're writing your sentence is to include a feeling, a place, or a thing. Okay, so beginning with the word we, including color, shape, sound, or type of weather, and then to also include a feeling, a place, or a thing. Now, an example of this, again, is on your screen. It is, we shine as gold as glimmering eyes. That's my example for you all. I began my line with the word we. I chose a color for the second rule. My color is gold. And then my thing is glimmering eyes. What broken earthquake, bombed out, worn down, worn over, levee flooded? What bright yellow, green, speckled, mangle sitting dust light, barefooted, pig walking, goat crossing, garbage piled high, cement broken, hot daylight, hungry, history shackled. Hands missing, rubber cutting boy, running girl, bleeding, displaced evacuee, exiled, water coming, earth cracking, houses falling, skin splitting. What UN peacekeepers, US guards, guns pointing, what bright yellow green Malcolm X Boulevard walking, no body markings, what cold company men buying warm dead bodied land out from under. What money promised, 9 billion, 29 billion, many billion, never arriving billion. What ex-presidents, missing presidents, corrupt presidents, dead presidents. What 4-year-old, 6-year-old, 18-year raped open in Superdome camp burning village. What outside well-intended saving and rendering powerless victims made victims victims. What melting, penetrable, tense skin soul. What world, what people. What people having everything keep going while garbage swallows boys digging, children sinking, mothers dying, birthing. What women carrying charcoal sacks, potato sacks, carrying mini knives, mace under bright color pagdy skirts, carrying babies on breast backs, carrying songs. Dances, churches, fields, abuse centers, carrying possibility, bellies, beings, words. What people keep going, marching, outshining filth, outshining odds. What happens now? New Orleans, Haiti, Congo, Bosnia, Bolivia, Libya, Ghana, America, blacks, now or never. African American people claiming what they carry, claiming carrying. Now cultured people colored brightly, carrying everything. Carrying on, I tell you, carrying on. All right, you guys, thank you so much. Once again, quick water break. Okay, you guys, so that is the beginning of the second prompt. So I hope that when you were listening to that poem, you found it a bit easier to pick out a sound that you heard, right? Or to pick out a sound that you heard around you while I was performing that poem. Now, all I want you to do is to just write about the sound that you heard, right? It could be a large sound, it could be a small one, whatever it is, I want you to focus on it and describe it in as much detail as you can. It might also be interesting for you to use the sound in whatever it is that you're writing. So describe the sound itself, loud or quiet, and then expand from there. What's making the sound? Can you see it? What does it look like? Whatever's making it, does it change as it makes the sound? And how does it affect you who heard the sound? Does it remind you of something else? Have you heard the sound any other time? And does something else make a similar noise? So I know that was a lot of questions, right? But the trick with this exercise is to just focus all of your energy and attention on that one sound and to let all of the other details just fill the words. So our next prompt is very, very simple. It is to, since we've been engaging with sound all evening, it is to write and describe what silence sounds like. And I know we've been grooving to the Afrobeat orchestra, but for this particular prompt, we are going to write in silence, right? And so let's go ahead and write and describe what silence sounds like, no music. And then we are going to write for the next, how many minutes? 5 or 6? Okay, 5 minutes. All right, you guys, drop any questions in the chat box if you have any. Let's move into writing.
Thank you so much. Tag us in your pieces. Visit girlsrightnow.org. Donate if you can. But we are just so excited. Thank you for being here with us. And thank you again, Cynthia, for a brilliant salon.
Thank you guys so much. Love and light.
Yes.